Imagine there's a feather falling down in front of you right now, and you want that feather. You want to grab that feather so bad. And so you reach out, you make this big gesture, and you go to grab it, but you miss it, and it swishes away. And now you have to get up and you have to go chase it down. And as you're running after this feather, it keeps getting further and further away from you because you are pushing it away with the force, the air that you're creating. But instead, if you just let that feather fall and you put your hand out and you watch it fall down and you trust that gravity is going to lead it into your hand, that's how you catch it. That's what the law of detachment is. The law of detachment is a mechanism that comes along with manifestation and the law of attraction. Because what happens is so many people get really obsessed about their desire and their goal, and they end up taking forced actions that push their goal away from them, that push their desire further and further away, because they're creating forces in the universe that shouldn't be there, such as that wind pushing the feather. And then you get into chasing mode, and that's the exact opposite of what the law of attraction wants for you. Law of attraction runs on trust in yourself and trust in the universe or source or some sort of higher power. And in this case, gravity. Trust that gravity was going to bring that feather to you. So in this video, we're going to talk about what the law of detachment is, what it isn't, how releasing the how is actually the ultimate way you're going to get what you want, but how to balance that with taking inspired action to get there. So let's talk about it. Also, if I come off looking kind of uncomfortable in this video, it's because I am. I have horrible cramps right now. Terrible. We're pushing through it. This is one of my favorite topics. Releasing the how is one of the most important things you can do. Law of detachment is an crucial part of manifesting. So I really want to get this video out and make this for you guys because this is something I'm learning myself. So this is what I'm figuring out. I hope it resonates with you. And if I'm you see I'm squished in the corner with my knees up to my chest to sort of create some sort of facsimile of pressure on my abdomen. So that's what's going on here. So, but let's continue. What does it mean to detach? The law of detachment comes into play because sometimes people really want what they want and they obsess about it and they make it their whole dang lives. And that is not going to get you what you want. I frequently see people marketing law of detachment as want nothing, get everything. And I don't think that is an accurate assessment of what it is preaching. Detaching does not mean not wanting it. You're allowed to want things. In fact, I think it is a good thing that you want things because it means that you truly have an understanding of yourself. And I do believe in a higher power, and I believe that this higher power has instilled what we want in our lives in order to guide us on a path. To say that law of detachment is just saying don't want it, that's not going to serve you. I don't think that's a helpful framing device. Law of detachment is about releasing the obsessive feelings around your desires while also wholeheartedly believing that they're going to happen. Law of detachment is about releasing frantic feelings. It's about not feeling desperate for it. It's about knowing that what you want is just an extension of who you're meant to be, and it is trying to get at a feeling, and you know that you have the tools and you trust in yourself to have that feeling right now. This desire you have is not going to make you whole. You're whole right now. You are capable of feeling whatever feeling you need to in order to feel whole right now without your desire. What the desire will do is lead you in the direction of a life that you are meant to live, of you fulfilling your ultimate desires in the end, of becoming the person you are meant to be, of becoming your higher self. That's what this is all about. You're on a quest towards your higher self. But in order to get there, you have to release this frantic, obsessed feeling that you have about your desire. And the reason you have to release it is because you could be leading yourself in the wrong direction. The way you deal with this obsessive, frantic feeling of wanting what you want is to have faith that it's already on its way to you. In the feather example, you had faith because you understood how gravity worked. You knew that it was just a matter of time that feather was going to have to fall into your hand. You may have had to move your hand over ever so slightly to gauge the small amount of wind in there, but it was going to land in your hand no matter what. You could see it. You just had to be patient. In my original video on manifestation, I did not bring up a higher power or faith or anything like that because I didn't really want to preach to people. I'm not a religious or spiritual figure. I can't tell you what to believe, but it is an important component to the law of attraction. The law of attraction requires trust that there is a force out there that is working in your favor. You can think of this force however you want. You can think of it as God. You can think of it as the universe. It could be a deceased loved one watching over you. It doesn't even have to be spiritual if you don't believe in that. It could be energetic fields, quantum physics, vibrational shifts and patterns. It could be trusting your subconscious mind to guide you and to lead you to what you need. It could be believing in a self-fulfilling prophecy that if you believe it, it will happen. Even if you're not spiritual, I believe you can come up with some sort of higher power that is out there guiding you through this world. It could be based in science, it can be based in spirituality, but there has to be trust. You have to believe that everything is always working out for you. That's why Lucky Girl Syndrome was so popular on TikTok a few months or years ago. It was basically a reframing and repackaging of manifestation. Look, I'm so lucky, everything always works out for me. That is what law of attraction is. So how do you actually detach? How do you get yourself to be less obsessed with the thing that you want? Remember that you are allowed to want the thing. I encourage you to want the thing. Don't be obsessed about the thing. Don't let it consume you. Ultimately, in the end, whatever it is you want is a means to an end. It's a means to a feeling. The way you stop obsessing over what you want is to find ways to feel the feeling now. And this is where the practice of visualization comes into play. You have to act as if you already have it. A very popular thought experiment is, let's say you have $1 million in your bank account right now. You truly, wholeheartedly believe that you have $1 million to your name to spend on anything you want. How would you feel? How would you act? How would you walk around? What would you think? What would you do? You wouldn't be walking around worried about whether you can pay rent this month. You wouldn't be walking around worried about whether your card's going to decline. You would feel at peace. You would feel at ease. You would know that you're going to have enough to cover all of your needs. You might see someone wearing a really nice jacket and you think, I wish I could have that. And then you realize, oh, I can have that if I want it. There's a sense of freedom there, right? Like, oh, I can treat myself? That feels good. I feel free. I feel luxurious. And the trick is to embody that feeling as much as humanly possible right now. And that's where a lot of the manifestation advice comes from, such as visualizing or doing scripting, where you write down a day in your life that you would love to live, like your dream life or whatever, the way you want it to go. You are allowing yourself to feel as if you lived that day with scripting or with visualizing. Before I continue, let me just quickly introduce myself. My name is Charlotte, and I am on a journey to becoming the most fulfilled, best version of myself. And I have been learning a lot over my lifetime, and I've decided I want to share it with you and to create a community on here. So if that's something that you're interested in, personal development, self-development content, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment so I know you exist. And thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. A crucial step in attracting rather than chasing is releasing the how. It is not your job to figure out how your manifestations will come to you. That is your subconscious mind's job. That is your higher power's job. It is not your job. Releasing the how is about taking effortless action. It's about going with the flow. You don't want to expend your energy on resistance or force. Hyper focusing on the how will backfire on you because it will create doubt. And it can also create forces that push what you want further away from you, such as the example with that feather. If you're constantly thinking, how will this happen? Or what if it doesn't work out? You're introducing doubt into this process, and you can't have doubt. This runs on trust. If you don't truly believe that what you want is already yours, what you want is going to happen, you are going to introduce roadblocks into your manifestations, and you are going to sabotage it. It's all about your subconscious mind. Over-analyzing specific steps that you're going to take or trying to figure out specifically how something is going to come to fruition can make you hyper-focus on a specific path or outcome or timing. And that's going to introduce friction and resistance into the process. It's going to make your manifestation flow less natural. So you may be thinking, okay, then what do I do? Your subconscious handles the how. Once you've planted your desires into your mind and you truly believe that they're on their way to you, your subconscious is going to take over and your higher power is going to take over, and they're going to orchestrate the path that is going to lead you to what you want. That's why so many people feel like manifestation is magic or effortless. It's because their subconscious mind is working effortlessly and just naturally without them doing anything towards the best path for them to get what they want. Even if you can't see the process unfolding in front of you, it is happening. The universe will find it the easiest way. The the universe will find the path of least resistance to getting you what you want. That's why it's called the law of attraction. You're attracting what you want to you with the least amount of effort possible. When you try to micromanage the how, you're probably complicating things. You're trying to force it. You might be creating barriers to what you actually want. Like the feather. Remember the feather. Remember the feather. Your only job is to focus on the end results. Focus on how you feel. Focus on your why. Focus on what it is you want. Imagine you already have it. Think about it. It is yours. You really have to embody it. And then you allow inspired action and the bridge of incidents to take over. What's she talking about? Oh, let's talk about it. So how does it actually happen if I'm not supposed to focus on the how? This is a frustrating part for me. And this is where I'm blocking my own manifestations in a lot of ways. And I know it. I see it. I understand. I'm working on it. Obviously, you have to do things in your life in order to get certain things. I want to have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I need to make YouTube videos, right? Obviously. I believe this term, the bridge of incidents, is attributed to Neville Goddard, who's one of the godfathers of law of attraction. And essentially, the bridge of incidents is a series of events that unfolds naturally in life. You won't know in advance how the bridge is going to play out, but once you have impressed your subconscious with the desire that you want, it's all going to unfold in front of you. The how takes care of itself. And I know that's so frustrating to hear because I'm a person who wants a planner to keep track of my planners. I want a spreadsheet of spreadsheets. I want to know a 50,000 foot view of everything ever in my life. I want to see the end from the beginning. I want to know everything because I'm a control freak. And I think that I can affect my own change in life and I want to go out and do it. Tell me what to do. Your subconscious is what tells you what to do. It's about taking inspired action. Inspired action is instinct. It's going with the flow. It's following your gut. It's doing things that make sense to you in the moment, that feel aligned with what you want. They're decisions that you make that's based on intuitive guidance, and you really have to trust yourself and do what your heart is telling you to do. If you're truly embodying the feeling that you want to have, your instincts are going to be aligned with getting what you want. I would love to hear if you have an example of a bridge of incident or an inspired action, like in the comments. How did something so random end up happening for you? I'm going to give you an example of one of mine. When I started in 2016 at a big company, I was on a contract position, and one of the rules of these contract positions is that you cannot be hired as a contractor 2 years in a row. So I knew that I was going to have to find a new job that was a staffed position. About 6 months in, I started looking for a new job because my contract was only a year long. And I spoke to a recruiter about a potential job within the company at a different division. That was 2016. It didn't pan out back then. I ended up getting a different job. Fast forward to 2018. I am looking for a job at this point in time, actively job hunting. And I, on a whim, reach out to this recruiter and say, hey, I'm looking for a job. Do you remember me? We had coffee in 2016. And she's like, oh my God, yeah, girl, I remember. And she was like, yes, I'm hiring for 3 different positions. You would be perfect for any of them. Come on in. I interviewed for all 3 positions in one go, and I got one of them, and it's still my job today, almost 6 years later. That is an example of inspired action and the bridge of incidents. I just had the instinct, the inspiration to reach out to her 2 years later, and lo and behold, there you go. It was a very effortless series of events. And actually, at that point in the job search, I was applying to random jobs and it wasn't getting me anywhere. It was just sort of uninspired action that I was just doing it to say I did something that day. Writing that one email did more than applying to hundreds of jobs. Some other examples of inspired action could be noticing signs from the universe. A lot of people believe in angel numbers or have other specific numbers or phrases or words or whatever it is that remind them of things and make them jump into action or think like, oh, I'm on the right track. So pay attention when you see signs like that. I never remember my dreams, but a lot of people do. Like if you remember your dreams or your nightmares, pay attention to those. That could be your subconscious trying to tell you something. I think writing down your dreams is a very good idea. Sometimes you feel inspired to read a book or to listen to a podcast or watch a YouTube video, and that will lead you to take action elsewhere in your life. You were inspired to gain that information, to gain that education, and that led you to an outcome that you were looking for, or closer to one anyway. You may feel inspired to change up your routine. Maybe you usually go to one coffee shop down the street, but you want to try a different one, and that is where you meet the love of your life. Who knows? Go with it. Like what? Yeah, let's go try a different coffee shop. Reaching out for help is also an inspired action. Remember that. Remember that. The last thing I want to touch on is balancing inspired action with discipline, because sometimes you have to do things when you don't feel inspired to do them. A very simple rule of thumb that I follow is discipline for basics, inspiration for creation. What do I mean by that? There are basic things in life that sometimes you just have to grit your teeth and get through it because you are parenting yourself. There's always that inner child in us. It's like, I don't want to brush my teeth. I'm comfortable right now. I don't want to get up. Or I don't want to do the dishes, or I don't want, like, you have to go do those things. Basic things need to get done, and sometimes you just need to be like, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up, go. When it comes to creativity and creation, however, you kind of want to leave some space for inspired action. For example, I know that I have a goal of putting out 1 video a week on this YouTube channel, and sometimes I do not feel inspired to make it. And I've realized that my resistance to making the video matters a lot. Why am I resisting it? First, I ask myself, okay, what is your resistance based in? Is it fear or is it intuition? Am I afraid of failing? Am I afraid I don't know what I'm talking about? Like, why am I fearful of sitting down and doing this YouTube thing right now? If the answer is fear, I probably need discipline. I just need to push through it. But if I'm not resistant because of fear, if I'm resistant because I'm like, I just don't think I have the answer for this YouTube video yet. I just don't think my intuition is there yet. I don't think this is going to be the best video it can be. That is when I start to go back to the drawing board and I sit down and I'm like, okay, maybe I need a new video topic. Maybe I need to think about this more. Maybe I need to go on a walk. Maybe I need to do something that is not technically related to making the YouTube video, but is going to help me think through what I want to say in the video. That is an example of inspired action versus discipline. And knowing the difference is the hardest part of this. And then the other thing I ask myself, if I'm like, is this an inspired action or am I just being unmotivated right now, is will I regret this decision in the future? So I did not want to film this video today. I'm not feeling well, all that stuff, but I have a very tight schedule for the next 3 weeks and I really need to stay on it. And if I'm off of it, I will be upset later down the line and it will not serve me. Like, I don't think procrastinating on this filming will lead me to a different outcome in the future. So I just need to suck it up and do it. And then it'll be okay. It's just going to be an unpleasant, like, 40 minutes. It's fine. It's all about being in alignment with yourself and really trusting that you know what's best for you, even if you're not feeling super motivated, even if you want to stay in bed, even if there are sirens going on outside and you need to film a YouTube video. Like, you know what's best for you deep down. You do. And it's all about getting in touch with that. I'm going to call it there, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. I cannot tell you how amazing it's been to make these videos for you and to see all of your comments. Please leave them. Please let me know if you have any suggestions for future videos. I'm keeping a list, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.